Hello, I'm Victor Aberdeen from Eizo and I'm here at the Photographer Academy, and we're going to talk about what's important about a monitor for you to use for photography. An interesting question. You always look at a picture through the viewfinder, and I'm sure you think about the viewfinder all the time and how it looks and how the picture looks at it. You'll spend more time though looking at your pictures on a screen than you do through the viewfinder. So the way you see the pictures here is just as important, if maybe not more important, than the way you look at them through a viewfinder. So understanding how this is working is very important to you. And monitors are, unfortunately, not all equal. And some have more propensity to give you a good image for a photographer than others. Why then a hardware calibrated monitor? What's the advantages of it? What does it give you that an ordinary monitor doesn't? So let me make a suggestion that you think about this in a different way. You think about it as being a filter, a different way for you to view how the world is. Now, when you're looking at a monitor, get a good black and white print and bring up that print here, and you'll see together that the two look very good together when you've got a good monitor. Why is it important to look at a black and white picture? Because the basis of all electronic imagery is tone. If you don't have the tone right, you'll never get the photograph right. So let me just note that I'm not doing anything with the computer right now. I'm just going to play with the monitor itself, and I'm going to go into one of the settings here. So I've gone down to the color temperature there, and I'm going to change it. And I know you're looking at this on a video, but you can see that go yellow to very blue. What am I doing? I'm changing the white point. This is almost papyrus, this color, real yellow paper, to very, very blue. Let me go through there to that, which is 10,000 Kelvin. Very, very blue. This is all controlled simply within the monitor itself. So the monitor is acting as a filter to your photography held in the software. So you need to make sure you understand how that filter is working. Now, very simply, I can click a button and go straight to standard Adobe RGB, or I can go to sRGB. You won't see any difference with the black and white picture because it's tone. We'll come back to that little bit there. Underneath the tone and the color is another aspect, uniformity. You need to have an even, and it's going to be hard for you to see this, so at some point it'd be good for you to come and have a look at an Eizo somewhere and have a look at how uniform that screen is. If you're editing a photograph and you're getting into the subtlety of facial skin tones, that's going to be a struggle if you're looking at those pictures on a screen that isn't completely uniform. This is one of those things, don't do this at home because you might upset yourself, but bring up a grey background. No, maybe you shouldn't. Turn the lights off in the room so it's quite dark, and then have but don't make it completely dark because that's defeating your working environment. So just have maybe an angle poise or a desk lamp on somewhere, and just look at the uniformity of that grey. Some monitors you might find they have green corners, other monitors degrade across to one side, all sorts of tonal aspects. It's no good for your photography if that isn't uniform, because your picture's made up of lots of tones, but the baseline of them isn't. And then when you're retouching your picture, you can't tell what's happening. You go back into Lightroom. So then when you get a nice black and white picture up like that, you can see how fully the tone works with that picture. You can see all through into the highlight details, right down into the shadow area there. That's where it's important to have the tone curve from the bottom all the way up to the top and represent all those tones equally. Now, let me go and pick a good color picture for you so you can have a look. And I'm deliberately going to pick a difficult one. Why difficult? This is an artist with yellows and greens and really subtle colours. So if the balance on the monitor wasn't good, this picture wouldn't look good. It was a difficult picture to shoot, and certainly got published in the paper I was working for at the time. Daylight, through a window, green sunlight outside. So getting the colour right on that, very difficult. If the monitor's got a bias, you're stuffed because you're only responding to that bias. You're never going to see the true colours coming off that picture. So it's very important that you can define the gamut of the camera and understand how the colours are looking here for your eye. You're the judge of what's right, not the monitor, you. So the purpose here is this is invisible to the content. Do you remember that yellow, gold, white dress, or was it blue or black? The background behind that is a thing called colour constancy, and if you work in an accurate colour workflow, your end result will be accurate photographs where you can see exactly how the picture looks, and when other people see it on a poor quality display, they get a better impression of that than they would with this. Let me show you one more picture here. Let me reduce that down. I have one more picture that I think you will enjoy, because it's me showing off my mistake. This was a front page on the paper I was working on, and even with your screen going through the camera and all the process, you can tell those shirts aren't blue. They are blue, but they weren't in this picture, because I forgot to use a colour checker. And we've got blue daylight coming in there, we've got some sort of phosphor lights there, we've got fluorescence behind me and tungsten to the right. A nightmare scenario. So what I went for was to get the skin tones right. It's worth getting it right, because when you've got a good screen, you know you can get the colour where you need it to be. And that's why you have a high quality Eizo display, and why top professional photographers buy them. So they trust no surprises in what they deliver to the people who want to see their pictures. Thank you very much.